In Springfield, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Tonight,
Dad has always said, we can do hard things.
we hear from the family of a beloved high school teacher seriously injured while playing basketball. We'll find out how Saskatchewan businesses are preparing for tariffs on steel and aluminum. And from playing the piano to being recognized for volunteering, this Regina woman is still going strong at 102.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Thursday, February 13th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams in for Sam McKeag. Thanks for joining us. A beloved teacher and coach in our province is getting support from the many people he's helped over the years. Kelly Krupe, known to many as Mr. Krupe or Coach Krupe, has taught for years in communities around Regina. He was paralyzed last month playing basketball, a sport he loves. His family sat down with Aishwarya Dutta to tell us more about him and the road ahead.
Another one.
Headed back to school.
Kelly Krupe's wife and 2 children have a tough time choosing their favorite photo of him. All the good memories are keeping them going during this tough time. The longtime teacher and coach was playing basketball last month when he tripped and slammed headfirst into a wall. He was left paralyzed from the neck down.
I was very scared all at once, but knowing that every moment that I was with him, that I needed to be strong and not scare him, and I wanted him to just worry about himself.
Erin knew her husband would need extensive surgery, but then he had a stroke. Since then, Kelly has been unresponsive.
Fear for the future, as I've said. You know, the sense of loneliness, going home to an empty bed every night, knowing that that might be empty for the rest of my life.
His daughter Hannah says Kelly's a great father who has so much more to do.
My partner was never able to ask my dad if I could marry him. So that's also what I'm hoping for, is that I can talk to my dad.
Leighton says if anyone can come through a difficult time, it's his father.
I think that my father was just about the absolute pinnacle of being a man in the sense of work. This guy has been working like a dog since he was born. He grew up on a farm, so absolute workhorse. And then when he was going to university, he worked 2 jobs and never asked for a dime from anyone.
Kelly is not alone in this fight. Now a teacher in Balgony, he's been teaching and coaching for more than 2 decades and has a whole community behind him. A friend started a GoFundMe to help the family.
It blows us away. There's names that we're reading that people are donating that, oh, that's an old student, that's an old student. I've never even heard of that person. Look them up on Facebook. They're from Southie, they're from Southie, they're from Momart, they're from all of these communities that Dad has made such a big impact on.
That support is needed for what will be a long journey.
Dad has always said, we can do hard things. And it sounds so juvenile, so simple. So I said that to him. I said, you can do it, Dad, like we can do hard things. And his response was, don't worry, I can, nothing stopped me yet. And Mom pipes in and says, the wall stopped you.
That humor and their connection getting them through. Aishwarya Dutta, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon cop is being disciplined after an incident, but we don't know what that incident was or why details were not revealed sooner. Helena Mahalik has more.
Saskatoon police confirm a senior sergeant is suspended and under investigation for an incident involving another officer. But police aren't saying why. They never told the public about the suspension and outside investigation. Police confirm the sergeant was suspended a week ago following an internal investigation. They said in an email to CBC that the allegations do not involve a member of the public, but they're serious enough that the province's Serious Incident Response Team, or CERT, is also involved. CERT is an independent body that investigates incidents that could lead to criminal charges against officers. That includes allegations of sexual assault or interpersonal violence involving police. CERT confirmed in an email that it became involved 2 weeks ago. The agency usually publicly announces its investigations, but it didn't in this case. It says to preserve the integrity of its investigation. Saskatoon police won't say why it didn't publicly say anything about the investigation, suspension, and calling in CERT. Helena Mahalik, CBC News, Saskatoon.
U.S. President Donald Trump has signed his plan to impose reciprocal tariffs on America's trading partners. Trump says it's fair to all.
There'd be no exemptions, right? It would be all auto imports?
Any exemptions now, because you don't need to. With reciprocal, you don't need to.
The measure would slap duties on U.S. imports to match the tax rates other countries charge. The White House says it will first look at countries with the biggest trade surpluses and highest tariff rates. Studies on the reciprocal tariff plan are set to be completed by April 1st. There are fears Trump's tariff policies could spur higher inflation and suppress economic growth. And here at home, businesses are bracing for the impact of U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum. With the province's economy heavily reliant on industries tied to the U.S., the 25% tariffs could have widespread consequences. Jeffrey Tram has the details.
It's very disheartening. People lose their jobs.
Businesses across Saskatchewan are on high alert this week. U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum threaten economic chaos.
And our prime industry is oil and gas. So whether that's the actual oil and gas companies taking it on the ground or just companies that service the oil industry, and then our farming, so anybody that way, and manufacturing. So those members are going to be feeling the impact right away.
Border towns like Estevan are particularly vulnerable. Its economy is closely tied to cross-border trade, and local businesses are worried about the repercussions. But amid the uncertainty, some see opportunity both beyond the U.S. and within Canada.
And if we actually make interprovincial trade easier and we can actually expand our GDP, it's a huge opportunity in our country to reduce red tape and even counter some of the effects of tariffs.
South of the border, Minot tourism is also preparing for a ripple effect. There is concern about fewer Canadians crossing the border.
Just yesterday, I was talking with a gentleman that lives in Manitoba, and he had expressed that he's not going to be coming down for this year, but hopes, in the future that things will, in his eyes, become more favorable.
Back in Estevan, Scarlett says there is cautious optimism.
We went through the oil going up and down, or even the news of the coal mine being going to be shut down and all that. So I feel our business owners are ready for the challenge.
Coming next month, there will be 2 tariff dates to watch for, March 4th and 12th. What happens next is up to Donald Trump. Jeffrey Tram, CBC News, Regina.
City of Regina staff have 18 months to prepare a report examining the future of one of its troubled municipal corporations. In a vote Wednesday, council unanimously supported a motion that could dissolve Regina Exhibition Association Limited, or REAL. That's the organization responsible for the Brandt Centre and Mosaic Stadium. During the pandemic, the organization took on debt to continue operating and in recent years has faced soaring costs. This year, the city is being asked to provide nearly $13 million to help REAL keep operating. Ward 3 councillor David Froh says he wants to give REAL a fresh start.
I don't believe that I have enough information yet to make a decision, but I also don't want to wait many years to make a decision and revisit this every single year. The reality is that there's no short or medium-term solution for REAL. They're going to require material public dollars for a very long time. We owe it to them, we owe it to the taxpayers to make a decision and stick with it.
The report will weigh the benefits and costs of either dissolving REAL, having the city take over its responsibilities, or keeping REAL as it is now but with reduced responsibilities. Mayor Chad Bashinsky supported the decision and on Thursday delivered his first State of the City speech as mayor of Regina, pitching the Queen City as a place to live for those tired of larger cities.
We all know how great Regina is and the opportunities that are here. And now we have a great opportunity to showcase that to other cities and attract people to come see it for themselves. This only benefits us in so many ways, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this comes to life.
The City of Regina is launching a new website, liveinregina.ca. It'll help share the benefits of living in the city. Meanwhile, Economic Development Regina is launching the Regina 25. It's meant to highlight the people who are laying the foundation for the city's future. Nominations for that are now open. A new survey suggests the GST holiday that ends Saturday hasn't had much of an impact on sales. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business got more than 2,000 responses from small and medium businesses. Only 5% of them saw a bump in sales compared to last year. It was higher among those in the hospitality sector at 14%. Well, Regina's total residential plow continues. The city announced Monday it would plow all residential streets because of last week's snowstorm, but it seems some drivers may have forgotten to move their cars from the road before the plows came through. To find out when the plows are coming your way, you can download the city's Plow app. You can find that on the city's website. Stay with us. Riley Lachuk has a look at the forecast after the break.
In Springfield, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Well, at 102 years old, Jean Thomas does not seem to be slowing down. The Regina woman is an avid volunteer. She still leads a choir, is on the executive team of the Royal Canadian Air Force Association, and helps people in need do their income tax returns. Nicole Laverne-Smith went to meet her in her retirement residence to find out what her secret to longevity is.
It's hard to believe that Jean Thomas is 102 years old when you see her rolling down the halls of her retirement residence. Jean has a hard time believing it too. Inside, she feels like she's about 50.
I have no idea why I've lived this long.
If a generous heart keeps you young, well, that might explain it. Volunteering is in her DNA. Jean worked for Revenue Canada for many years as an accountant and tax auditor, and still volunteers with a program that helps people who are unable to fill their tax returns. She still does close to 20 returns a year.
Terribly important. So many people, when they're faced, it's a psychological thing, I think. When they're faced with our return, their brain goes dead, and they panic.
She's also been involved in scouting for about 70 years.
Well, unfortunately, I can't crawl into a tent anymore. Every Remembrance Day, I organize the scouts.
Her giving nature earned her the Saskatchewan Volunteer Medal in 2002 and the Governor General's Medal for Volunteers in 2017. Jean's originally from Indian Head, Saskatchewan, and says she had a happy, simple childhood with sports, church, school, and music. A lot of music. She still leads a sing-along at her home.
We sing some gospel songs, some old-time favorites, and some crazy songs, like I Have Lost My Underwear.
Proud of her family and her children, she has lived many years without the love of her life, Hugh Thomas. He died 68 years ago when he was only 33 years old.
My husband was a senior officer in the Air Force. My life I've lived all around the world. And our permanent home, our house was in Ottawa. And when my husband died, I came back to Saskatchewan, and no one will believe it, but I prefer the weather out here.
Jean has so many stories to tell, but when asked what might have contributed to her longevity,
I was always active. I've been an athlete all my life. When I was, as a student, I played sports and skated and played basketball. I think if you keep your muscles and your body healthy, and I don't smoke, and I'm allergic to alcohol, so I'm a very cheap date.
But when asked directly, what is your secret?
And I have one simple answer. Just keep on breathing.
Good on Jean. Well, she may like the weather in Saskatchewan, but I think a lot of us are certainly not enjoying these frigid conditions that we've seen this past while here. Another cold one in Saskatoon this Thursday. And Riley Laychuk is here now for a look at just how long this is going to last. Hi, Riley.
Well, thanks, Ethan. Another one of those days where, yes, we've been well below seasonal for this time of the year. Looking at some of your afternoon temperatures, putting it in perspective, we should be at about -6, -7 for this time of the year. Some places -8 for this time of the year in parts of South and Central. So well below normal. Barely getting above -25 in both Regina and Saskatoon today, -24 through the afternoon, -25 in Yorkton, La Ronge -22. So yeah, a bitterly cold day, and that is continuing. So we have this extreme cold warning in place really for most of the province, looking at wind chills -40 and below for Regina, Saskatoon, most of South and Central. This is frostbite on exposed skin in 10 minutes or less as we get through the overnight hours into Friday morning. For the north, though, we could see some wind chills exceeding -51, and that is frostbite on exposed skin in minutes outside. So it's one of those nights, again, where it is going to be dangerously cold, so you'll really want to make sure you bundle up into the overnight hours and particularly into the morning on Friday. High pressure has really kept us clear. That ridge in the jet stream, that piece of the polar vortex that has kind of squished its way down over Manitoba, has really kept us clear throughout the day. So a little bit of passing cloud, and that's what we can expect as we get through the next couple of days. I'll go into a little more detail as we see some cloud and maybe a few flurries for some of us rolling through Friday into Saturday. Your upper level atmosphere, you can see where that polar jet has really sunk down into the prairie provinces, and that blob of cold just kind of sits here and rotates for the next several days. So several more days of these below seasonal temperatures yet to come as we get into the middle of next weekend. Some of our coldest nights of the year, I think, are coming yet as we get into the weekend. So timing this out for you, mostly clear into Friday morning, but you can see the clouds starting to build in. So clouds that begin flowing through Friday, actually probably more like a mainly cloudy day on Friday. But if I widen out the map here, that ridge of high pressure that is cleared us out and kept us sunny is also keeping a system out of the way here. So maybe places like Maple Creek into the southwestern corner and extreme southern parts of the province get a few flurries out of this as we head Friday into Saturday. But for the rest of us in southern and central parts of the province, this is a mainly cloudy sky tomorrow with some peaks of sunshine. All right, looking at some of our wake-up temperatures as you head into Friday. Stony Rapids, yeah, -38. This is where we're looking at some of those wind chill values that could exceed -50 into the overnight hours into Friday morning. So we're looking at that bitter cold continuing. Look at some of these temperatures as we head overnight Sunday into Monday, -39 in Regina. Temperatures not getting above -20 really for the entire 7-day forecast, save for next Thursday. Much the same for Saskatoon, looking at -22 for Friday. Temperatures remain cold, Ethan, right into next week.
Well, we had some visitors Thursday at CBC in Regina. Some students from the Journalism 20 class at AE Peacock School in Moose Jaw stopped by for a tour. They learned all about videography, how to film for news, and stopped by our studio to see how a TV newscast is made. And yes, as you can see, they even tried their hand at a weather forecast. You may be looking at some future on-air CBC faces there. Stay with us. We'll have more news when we come back. Volunteers with the World Sick Organization are spreading some Valentine's Day love, putting special care packages together and delivering them to several women's shelters in Saskatoon and Regina.
My name is Dipinder Kaur. I'm one of the volunteers with World Sick Organization of Canada, Team Saskatchewan. And today we're making care packages for shelter homes. We're doing about 120 care packages as part of our campaign called 1 Billion Rising. Each package contains a beautiful card. There's a full-size lotion. There's some sanitary pads. There's a soap bar. A pair of socks to keep the people warm. Toothpaste. A shampoo. Toothbrush. And some snacks and a bag. We're also doing like the baby wipes and baby formulas and baby diapers for these shelter homes because they do have kids coming at the places as well. because Valentine is all about spreading love and spreading positivity. We just want to do a little bit part. Well, we basically want to do whatever we can, and we just want to tell them that somebody is looking after them, or somebody is keeping them in their thoughts.
All right, so as I said earlier, prepare for another cold night ahead as we head into Friday morning. For South and Central, hard to find a temperature through most of the communities here that isn't above -20, except if you're in the southwest corner of the province, Maple Creek, -20 overnight. Compare that to Priestville, Hudson Bay, Yorkton, -33s, -34s, again, factoring in the wind, looking at those wind chill factors, -40 to -45. So frostbite and exposed skin in not very long overnight into Friday morning. Look at some of these temperatures in the north. Cree Lake, -36 tonight. Uranium City, -38. Really does not get much better as we get into the day on Friday, unfortunately. Northern parts of the province, though, are expecting a more sunny day tomorrow, more like a sun-cloud mix into extreme northeastern parts of the province, but barely getting above -30 as we get through the afternoon hours tomorrow. Into South and Central, maybe some clouds, predominantly cloudy as we get through the day on Friday, with a few peaks of sunshine, Ethan, as we get through the afternoon hours. But other than that, we're looking at another cold day as we head through Friday.
Yeah, boy, are we ever. Okay, thanks, Riley. That's it for us for now. You can always visit our website or subscribe to the YouTube channel for more news. Thanks so much for watching.
In Springfield, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.